it's very clear that when we open up to the space of the heart, there is a loosening of our normal or well-known boundaries of who we are. So that's why there is an unconscious fear that if we really open up that much, we might lose our personality. We might lose our sense of our personhood. And in a way that is also true. We do lose the conditioned way of thinking of ourselves, but we do not really lose our individuality. On the contrary, it is my experience that we in fact get much more lit in our true being, and that also will show in our personal way of living, that we are actually really grounded in our being as you could say as the first priority. And when we are really grounded in our beingness, it will affect the person. It will affect the individual way of unfolding our whatever talent we have, whatever wish we have in our lives, and whatever potential we have. So in fact, it is opening up to much more of that if we are truly listening to and being really, really to the point of our own beingness. And that takes courage, because it's not like anybody else. We cannot unfold our own beingness through the person we are like anybody else. We are so unique, all of us, and this we've heard over and over again, so it can sound like a cliche, but really it's not a cliche. I think it's very, very essential, because in the spiritual world we have so much talk of dropping the ego and letting go of the ego. And it's true that once there's a letting go of the rigid boundaries, there is a sense of the ego kind of loosening its grip. But there's also very much truth in the fact that once we open up to that, there's much more freedom also within the person. There's much more freedom to really express who we are, because we're not so afraid anymore. When we're trying to be confined within the fixed frame of mind, within the fixed image of who we are, there's always this fear that we might be revealed, or we might not live up to it, or we might fall out of that frame. So that fear is being reduced a lot when we actually open up to the beingness of who we are, because then we are just naturally who we are, and we are not so afraid to be wrong or make mistakes, or we're kind of just more loose with ourselves. So I would say it's more like being a personality with loose boundaries, because when we are in the world and when we are acting in the world, we will always need our person to act through, in a way, you could say that. But we know that we are not that personality. It's just a vehicle to move through, and it's our beingness that can come through that personality with all its talents. And then it's much more playful, much more creative, and taking us to deeper levels of reality once we really allow ourselves to express what we are.